Have you ever wondered what a Ford F-150 truck is like in the snow? On top of it, we're testing out this Tremor with its original tires, not snow tires, in a mix of ice, slush, and snow to let you know how the 4x4, the intelligent 4x4 system works or doesn't work on a Ford F-150. So before you really buy any vehicle, you're probably wondering, what is it like in the worst conditions? Well, these are some of the worst conditions, and we're gonna let you know here at Johnny's Car Care and Reviews. Like and subscribe, turn the bell notification on to not miss anything. We're gonna let you know how the Ford F-150 goes out in the snow. Super important for your safety. I can tell you, not from experience, but from the testing, that this is extremely safe in a crash. One of the safest vehicles on the market and has been for decades. So crash, this is the type of vehicle that you want to be in. It doesn't have like the issue of the wheel going into the cabin as one particular truck manufacturer does. That's kind of in trouble right now in regards to sales and profitability, but this truck is fantastic in the case of an accident. Now let's find out if it's fantastic in these pretty awful conditions. So join us. Thank you so much for watching. Drop a comment. Would really appreciate to know what truck or vehicle you're currently driving and what your snow experiences or bad weather experiences have been. All right, so let's jump right in to the Ford F-150 Tremor. Pretty easy to know it's a Tremor because, well, it's written absolutely everywhere. See that bar down there? That's going to protect the tire from not going into the cabin in the case of a crash. Now, all Ford F-150s have a fully boxed in frame, meaning your frame, very thick, high strength steel frame, and your transversal bars go right through the frame, welded on both sides. So very, very strong setup. You can see from back here that the spare tire is a proper general grabber tire. So those are the original tires we're going to be testing out. Test out the brakes, the acceleration. Watch, subscribe, turn the bell notifications on to find out how to get your key code. Ford is not giving the key code anymore here on the handle. Love how you can lock the doors just by pressing there or unlock. Don't press both, you'll confuse the vehicle. Love the 360 cameras. Now they are located in the side mirrors and the front. Really important winter trick or bad weather trick. Don't clean them off with your glove. You will scratch the lens, just like reading glasses or vision glasses. They have a plastic lens, so they will scratch. Great graphics when you get into the truck. Now, while we're here, let's go check out what that rear exhaust sounds like before taking this little snowy drive. $135-liter fuel tank. Use your handbrake down here. Pull on it to set it. That'll protect your transmission, long-term reliability. Love the interior of the Tremor. Now let's go for that promised drive. First, let's test acceleration and braking on some pretty bad conditions here. We've got -1, but rain coming down on the windshield. Up to 5,000 RPM, and I can tell you Ford's 4x4 system, intelligent 4x4, and now braking. So the intelligent 4x4 and the ABS brakes did a fantastic job at keeping us nice and safe and on the road, even though, you know, rain's coming down on the windshield and it's -1. So these are icy conditions. Today we'll be driving in a mix of ice, slush, the stock tires on the F-150. When you do get them as 3-peak snowflake rated, standard on the Tremor, optional on your STX XLT and Lariat F-150s, are rather quite good. I like them. I like them quite a bit. Now, a Nokian tire, full winter tire, would be better, especially if it's studded. but I don't necessarily like spending over $2,000 if I don't have to. And so far, I don't think I have to, because Ford, the truck, compensates for what maybe the tires lack with the ABS brakes, this advanced stability control, and the intelligent all-wheel drive. Here, the ABS brakes working. Now let's test going uphill. Turn the camera. Do have 4x4 on. This is steep. Do a full stop. Icy conditions, not pure, not a sheet of ice, but we're doing good. We're accelerating. There is some sand put down. But we'll do some roads that don't have sand down and have more slush. Now let's test this again. Braking. No issue. You see that hill? Let's test this hill. Quite a bit steeper in reality than what you see from the camera. To the floor. This thing's taking off. So steep hill, put it to the floor, some spinning, but absolute straightforward acceleration. Got to 61 kilometers an hour before letting go of the pedal. So excellent. Excellent. So huge points to Ford's winter driving conditions. This tells me, and to me proves to me, that the Ford F-150 is excellent in the sand, the snow, the mud, because if it can handle snow mixed with ice and on the run, we'll get to it in just a moment, but slush, snow and ice in layers, because earlier we drove, so I'll put that in the video now. You'll see it'll give a good indication of what it's like sort of in all conditions, because these are the worst conditions. And I'm very satisfied. I would not drive in too high. So thankfully, the button here down by your right knee, you'll see a drive mode with a button that says push. While you push, if you want to lock the rear diff, I'm not locking the rear diff, and I'm just in normal drive mode. I didn't put it in snow mode either, and it's doing great. And you press the button 4H, so right by the 4H, you hit that, you're in 4x4. You don't want to be in that mode at slow speeds on dry pavement. Very slow speeds, dry pavement, the back end is going to struggle, the diff's not going to like you so much, and the back tires and back end will kind of hop. But I feel confident driving, the speed limit's 70 kilometers an hour. I feel confident driving the speed limit despite these very snowy conditions. So let's put the video to when we're driving at speed, a good speed, going through the bendies, and we've got more snow, slush, and with an icy bottom. Conditions from earlier today when it was -2. All right, let's test out some snowy mountain roads. And I say snowy, really I should say snow and slush and ice mix, to really see what's going on here. See what the tremor on the original OEM tires offers, and also to test out how Ford's intelligent 4x4 system works in the real world. Because well, there's a difference between real world and what the manufacturers say. What I can say is that theoretically, many times per second, the Ford F-150 can, not just the tremor, whether you get an STX, save a lot of money, an XLT, maybe you want to go up to a black appearance package, what used to be the Sport, or way back in the day, what used to be called the FX4. The FX4 in 2011, 12, 13, 2014, that was kind of your sport model. Well, the sport model is now really more so the black FX4 turned into sport, turned into black appearance package nowadays for the 23, 24, 25 models. So a little history there. The 2023 sports no longer have the LED rope lighting around the side, but they have the middle amber, like this tremor. So let's check it out here. So theoretically, many times per second, The truck can send power to different wheels, so it doesn't just use the brakes individually in each wheel to keep you going in a straight line or the desired direction. It also, which is ABS braking of course, but it also has intelligent 4x4. So let's see here, going from the speed limit down to the new speed limit, and no sliding left or right, so ABS is fantastic. So no complaints there, the ABS is just fantastic. Now, still driving in a mixture of snow, slush, and ice. Doesn't take long for the windshield, if I don't clean it off, to ice over with the fan on low. Fantastic on the bumps. No loss of control. That was quite the speed bump. So far, the stock general grabber tires, which are 3-peak snowflake rated, so far these 3-peak snowflake rated tires are doing the job in some pretty nasty conditions. Now, some will say, oh, but it's not very cold. No, right now you can see the water on the windshield. No, it's not very cold. We're kind of going through a bit of an ice storm because water's coming down, and yeah, it's -2, so it will freeze. It is freezing. The conditions are slippery, but we tested this yesterday, which will be part of this video and a separate video when we were testing out the tires, in -9 and no issues. And we've tested BF Goodrich KO2s in like -35, -40, and they started to, not be, you could see a difference after -20, but how often do we really get -20? Oh, a little sideways turning there when going into full braking. But the ABS, you could hear him turn on, do a good job. Speed bump, no loss of control coming off that speed bump. You're doing great. So you don't necessarily have to buy BF Goodrich KO2s. You can go with the $350 option on your STX, your XLT, or your Lariat. You just need, Ford's only offering the 3-peak snowflake rated tires when you go with an 18-inch wheel, so not offered on the 20-inch. Another speed bump. Good. Now let's test the braking here. No issues to the floor. Ford's ABS braking is fantastic. Little acceleration. No issues there. Of course, I'm in 4 high, there's no 4A. 4 automatic, which I love, is only offered on the Lariat on the F-150s. The Raptor on the Ford Ranger, and you'll get your Sasquatch package on your Broncos to get it. Always had it on the 3 Broncos we had, well worth it. Corner, give it a little gas, a little slide, technology gets everything back under control. So I'm very pleased with the Ford F-150s in the snow. Really, all Ford products are fantastic in the snow, whether it's 4x4, 4A as 4 automatic, or intelligent all-wheel drive. Ford does make a fantastic 4x4, 4A, or all-wheel drive systems. They're great. It's no wonder Ford used to own Volvo, Land Rover, Jaguar, Aston Martin, Mazda. Those are all previous Ford companies, and Ford did take a little bit from all of them, and very, very satisfied. So we'll test this on the way home, but so far my mid-video conclusion is that Fords are great in the snow. Fords are made for the snow. My little critique is I'd love for Ford trucks to be more affordable, but with the $8,000 discount on 2024s right now, or no discount but a fantastic interest rate, it's got to my sweet zone, my sweet spot, included with an employee price because I work at Valestri Ford. I got this at a steal of a deal, and a 360 camera, using it right now so I don't drive into the wall. Fantastic. So stay tuned. Gonna go to church, and on the way out we will hit the mountain roads again. So stay tuned. If you made it this far, drop finisher in the comments. So right before my final conclusions, I just want to point out I really like the Tremor interior. Steering wheel, leather with the stitching, fantastic. Love if this was heated, but it is not on the 401. You have to get the 402 and they're pretty darn expensive. If you got the money, great. 2025, the panoramic roof is back to being available for the Tremor. Just love the digital camo print. Heated seats are fantastic. Love the running board, but more about that in the final review. Let's talk about how the truck does in the snow. Well, in conclusion, it's fantastic. The stock tires, well worth the $350 option on non-Tremor models to get the 3-peak snowflake rated. You get more tire out of it. They do work well in the snow. So just to give you an idea of snow, that's a top of a boot height. Just driving around, very, very pleased. Great truck for the snow, but do stay tuned, turn bell notifications on to get the full reviews. We'll do a full review of this. We've done first impressions video already, but we will do a full review, and we'll put about 15,000 kilometers on this and do a bit of a longer term review on it. But so far we are loving it. Really useful. Toyota, take note. We like tow hooks on the front of our trucks down there, and we definitely do like skid plates. So the skid plates on the Tremor, if ever we hit a deer, will come in very handy. Our 2011 EcoBoost, Marie had run over a deer that was already on the ground, but the plates, the skid plates underneath, just made a lot of noise. Had some deer left over and ended up having a deer funeral. Came out that night to let the dogs out at about 11 at night, and there was 4 or 5 deer around the truck, oddly. But it saved us from potentially piercing the oil pan. The oil pans on some F-150s are composite material, so not great if they take a direct impact. But the conclusion is, this truck is fantastic in the snow. And if you don't mind dishing out the dollars, they're not cheap, but if you don't mind dishing out the dollars, a Ford F-150 is absolutely worth it. Less than a Tremor, you could go with, if the money saving tip of the day, get an F-150 STX. Don't think that the 2.7 liter EcoBoost, this is a 3.5 liter EcoBoost and has a ton of power and more than I need, but I'm having fun. But the 2.7 liter is a great choice. It's one of the most fuel efficient models. Now, if you do get a power boost, you're going to have up to guaranteed 2,600 or 400 watts in the back. This has 400 watts, but if you get the power boost, you get the 2,600 watts in the back, or you can pay an extra to have it's 2,400 watts or 7,600 watts. So you could build a cottage, run the construction work site. So the power boost is fantastic, but don't think it'll give you huge fuel economy on the highway. All the motors are about the same, even the V8 5-liter with 10-speed transmissions that are now on all of these. They're all great for fuel economy on the highway, but in town, city driving, major savings with the power boost. Don't get a Tremor to save fuel. They're 2 inches higher. The bigger tires, you're going to use more fuel, but a 2.7 liter V6, it's not like GM's 4-cylinder, it's a twin turbo V6 2.7 liter, is fantastic. Great value on the F-150 if you get the STX model, currently with $8,000 in rebates. Thank you so much for watching. If you made it this far, please drop in finisher as a comment. Really appreciate all your help and support. Thank you so much for watching and making this small family business a possibility and a reality. Thanks so much. Until next time, wish you all more cars and more power. Hope you get to put the pedal to the metal on a vehicle that you love real soon.